invece già effettuato Valerio Lata, terza partecipazione al mondiale se non sbaglio, Turchia.
Our third trip to Italy this season brings us to the Piedmont region and a Maggiora Park track that has earned an iconic status over the years. In MX2, the title fight couldn't be any tighter. Jago Geerts and Tom Viel are locked together at the top of the pile. But Jago Geerts has 6 race wins, which means the red plate is on the front of his Yamaha. Those two will battle for gold for the rest of the season, but there are plenty of other riders looking to make their name at world level. This track has plenty of ups and downs, but how will the fastest dirt bikers on the planet get on at the MXGP of Italy?
And welcome to round 7 of the FIM Motocross World Championship, the MXGP of Italy, here at the infamous Maggiora Park. The first time we came here was back in 1966, where the late Paul Friedrichs took the win on a CZ 500, but we never returned again until 1982 in the 250 class, and that was won by Kees van der Veen on a KTM. The first ever 125 winner, or MX2 as it is now, Alessandro Puzar. So the Italian winning here at home on a TM, an Italian motorcycle, back in '97. And as far as MX2 winners are concerned, when we came back in 2013, Jeffrey Hurlings won in 13, 14. Tim Geiser was victorious in 2015. And Mattia Guadagnini here last year in 2021. Who will take that 5th win around this Maggiora Park racetrack that is just over 1,700 meters long? From the finish line there, the dark grey, down the start straight, top of the hill, drop downhill for the first time. That is the end of Sector 1. Sector 2, a few corners later, you can see, and then over the far side of the circuit, Sector 3, and then the run towards the finish line. They will be the 4 sectors that we will be keeping an eye on over the course of the day and throughout the weekend. But in terms of victories, Husqvarna have never won here, so can they do that today with someone like Kai de Wolf? Well, we will be finding out in due course. We've had rain throughout the night, so the racetrack, you'll see from the qualifying highlights later on how it was yesterday and how it is today, although we've not had rain for the last hour or so, and so they've been able to work on the track and tidy things up a little bit. A generous crowd has turned up today, but let's take a look at the racetrack in a little more detail. About 95 metres down to turn 1. We're on board here with Andrea Adamo, the SM Action Racing Team USA battery gas rider. Through that first turn, over the Fox Holsehot line right there before the first of 3 waves into turn 2. Nature of the ground just off cambers there from right to left. Time's up, short straight, slight drop into turn 3, and then you can see just a single to the outside there just to open up the track a little bit. Series of waves as we head underneath the Vichy banner onto the top of the platform there, onto the plateau even. Downhill under the Monster Energy banner, hard braking zone. This was done after MXGP free practice yesterday. Look how wide the circuit is. Look at the amount of line choice. Look at the perfect conditions. Be interested to see how the work on the track since our MX 250 race about 45 minutes ago will affect the lap here. Over O'Mara's, Johnny O'Mara's lead there, that left-hander, and then Sector 2 and Sector 3 begins at the bottom of that hill through the FC Moto turn. The second of the Monster Energy jumps here. Got to be careful not to jump too far to the right. Very easily done. Then we have this long left-hander over the city spike jump into a small little step down. Riders were queuing up for the inside or going outside and cutting back to the left bank there over on the by that grass verge. Sector 4 starts now. over the short tabletop, and then we got this long run down. This used to be flat out years ago, but now with a single and then a step down, and then we head up. If you find a little braking bump there, you can probably free jump over that crest. Riders going wide or cut to the inside. The last major jump downhill brings us to the liquid molly jump here. Pit lane just to the right hand side, and the entrance just before the turn there. Over the Monster Energy finish line jump here. And as we land, we go right, left, back down the start straight for another lap of Maggiora Park. A little bit of commotion going on down there, as you would expect. The riders have been out for their sighting lap, and the MX2 riders getting ready for MX2 Race 1. A few moments ago, Lisa was down on the grid. She caught up with Mattia Guadagnini, last year's winner here, who's 7th in the championship. Before that, Jago Geerts, the championship leader.
We're almost ready for the first MX2 race of the day, but of course let's catch up with a couple of the guys. The first being MX2 championship leader Jago Geerts. Jago, let's quickly talk about yesterday. You were really pushing out there. I know in qualifying you made a little mistake, but well recovered. But a good day for you.
Yeah, yesterday I was feeling pretty good on the track. The track was pretty flat yesterday and pretty fast, so today is a different story with the rain. It's really technical, a lot of ruts. So we will see how it goes today. I'm looking forward, try to have to take 2 good starts, and yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Well, the last round in Latvia, you took over the championship lead. You now have the red plate on your bike. Is that something that you think about, the points at this early stage of the game, or is it not important at this stage?
No, not really. It's nice to have the red plate, but it doesn't bring a lot of stress or something, so I'm just looking forward to go out on the track with red plate and hopefully keep it for the next rounds.
Have a good race. Thank you, Jago. Okay, let's catch up now with Red Bull Gas Mattia Guadagnini, home rider. Mattia, last time we were here in Maggiora, it was a dream weekend for you. You picked up your first race win, your overall victory. You took the red plate on home soil as well. It must be really nice coming back here with fond memories.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really nice track, and of course with the race of last year, I have so many good memories. My first race win, took the red plate, everything, the fans. Everything was just amazing, and yeah, we're just trying to do our best. Track is getting a little bit better than the warm-up with the rain. It's a little bit getting dry, so I think it's not so bad for the race, and hopefully we can take a good start, and then will be everything easier.
It's going to be the first mudder of the year, isn't it? And I can tell by your helmet, you're well prepared for the conditions out there.
Yeah, of course. It's always strange with this condition for everybody. Everything can happen, and for sure a good start can help everybody. So that's the main goal, and then we will see for the race.
Have a good race. Thanks, Mattia. Okay, good luck to all the guys. It's time for the first race, MX2 Race 1.
So as the riders led their way out onto the track, see the guy with his back to us in the navy blue and the yellow headset, just holding that green strap. Andy Summers in charge of his 300th Grand Prix start this weekend. He's the FIM technical director. He's only missed 2 since 2005. That's some going. Take a look at the championship before we arrive then for MX2 Race 1. Jago Geerts, Tom Vial are inseparable at the top, 244. Likewise for 3rd, 4th, 5th, Langenfelder, De Wolf and Harp all on 181 points, but Harp losing that 3rd place 2 weeks ago in Latvia. 6th is Horgmo, Guadagnini 7, and Armo, Gifting and Rubini round out the top 10. No Muse here this weekend. So as everybody takes their positions, riders included, we will take a quick look at the qualifying race highlights in just a few moments' time. But as Jago Geerts alluded to it already, track conditions yesterday different to what we've experienced today. We had a lot of rain overnight and first thing this morning throughout the EMX Open race. A lot of different lines and ruts, but they have cleaned the track up as best they can in the time that they had. Let's take a look at the qualifying race highlights now. Here's what happened yesterday in the MX2 race. Gate drop here, perfectly dry conditions as they charge down the start straight. 2 Toms grabbed the first 2 positions, Tom Guyon and Tom Vial, but it was Vial who led going into turn 2. Jago Geerts around the outside, Beniston around about 5th or 6th place. Between them, the two Kawasaki's of Hawkmo on the 24 and the 11 of Harrop, but he just lost out to the Frenchman at the top of the hill. Dropping downhill, Vial led the way. Geerts was in 2nd position on the 93. 3rd was the 24 of Hawkmo. And then 4th, Tom Guyon and Thibaut Beniston with Harrop and De Wolf there. It'd be a difficult race for the 74. Kai De Wolf fell from 7th place on lap 4. He picked himself up in 10th. He would drop down the leaderboard again 2 laps from home to come home in 11th place. Tom Guyon fell from 4th place on lap 5. He picked himself up in 6th, but halfway round the lap, the VRT KTM rider Verities fell just here, top of your screen, in black, tipped over, and it was quite a gnarly one as well. He re-emerged in 12th, that's where he would finish, but it was Tom Vial and Jago Geerts who had everybody keeping their eyes peeled until that moment there. Front end washed out on Geerts Yamaha, the back end came around on him. He got up just in time before Hawkmo managed to find his way past. That never happened, but a stand-up wheelie to celebrate his first pole position, his first qualifying race win of the year for Tom Vial on the Red Bull KTM. Geerts 2nd, Hawkmo 3rd, Beniston and Harrop rounded out the top 5.
Aggancia il lancio contro anche Andrea Adamo.
We are at Maggiora Park. As I said, we've got a generous crowd in, considering the weather conditions. It's bright and sunny and warm at the moment. We may get a little bit of rain around about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Hopefully that eases though. Here's how the riders line up for the 7th round of the MX2 World Championship, the MXGP of Italy in Maggiora. Tom Vial on pole for the first time. He'll go to the line ahead of Jago Geerts, Kevin Hawkmo, Thibaut Beniston, Mikkel Harrop, Mattia Guadagnini, Andrea Adamo and Isaac Gifting. Jan Panzer, he's been riding good this weekend. He topped the timing sheets briefly in the time practice session on Saturday, but a 9th in qualifying gives him a good chance of a good start ahead of Simon Langenfelder. Kai De Wolf and Tom Guyon right in there as well. We had 25 finishes yesterday. Kevin Brumman, who fell on lap 3 from 15th place, finished 25th. He will go to the line in 25th. I just saw him walking out on the track, just having a look before their sighting laps. So at least he will be lining up for IXS Post-Tetler MXGP team. Paddle tyres for the start straight, which has been ripped here quite heavily over the course of the weekend. Some of that is quite wet as well, but Tom Vial, Red Bull KTM Factory Racing on pole for the first time. We know he can pull a Fox Holsehot. Currently sits at the top of the black plate leaderboard with 5, 1 ahead of Simon Langenfelder. Jago Geerts, big deep breath for the Belgian. And another one, just for good measure. Liam Everts there, look, number 72. He qualified in 16th place. Saw him briefly last night because Dirk Grubel, the KTM technical coordinator at Red Bull KTM, turned 50 yesterday. They had a bit of a gathering briefly for about a half an hour or so. Kevin Hawkmo, fantastic podium, 2nd overall in Latvia 2 weeks ago. He'll be hoping to capitalise on that. And Isaac Gifting going in search of a podium this year, his first in MX2. He lines up there for Hitachi KTM, fueled by Milwaukee, goes to the line in 8th. Thibaut Beniston, who got a race win here last year, his first in MX2, was pretty good in qualifying yesterday. So too, Mikkel Harrop, the big Van World MTX Kawasaki rider, coming home in 5th place. He's had 3 podiums so far, Argentina, Portugal and Trentino. Doesn't look like anybody wants to go to the inside 2 gates next to Tom Vial because there's a lot of mud just the other side of that gate. There's Guadagnini, got his 2nd race win here last year. He was in race 2. Went on to win the overall, claimed the championship leader's red plate as well. He'll be hoping to do the same today. Kai De Wolf, the star in Husqvarna Factory Racing, will be hoping for a better day than he had in qualifying. temperatures look like they're cooling ever so slightly. Almost everybody in position. Green flag at the back. Any moment now, just to clear the mechanics that are leaving the zone there. There we go. Our FIM race director then signals for the Fly Racing 15-second board to go up for the first time today. 30 minutes plus 2 laps, the duration of the MX2 races. The top 2 in the championship side by side in gates number 1 and 2. Who will get the advantage though? Tom Vial gets a good jump, so too does Jago Geerts. And over on the left-hand side, it's Beniston in there as well, but it's Vial. But Guadagnini with the Fox Holsehot for the first time this year. The Italians on their feet. Vial second, Geerts third. Oh, and then Guadagnini down, and Vial down, and Beniston down. A gift for Geerts. Carnage in turn 3. So Jago Geerts leads at the bottom of the hill for the first time. Cars makers there in second place. Hitachi KTM fueled by Milwaukee. Then we've got Rubini in third, Gifting in fourth. Beniston right at the back in turn 3. He'll take a deep breath, regroup, and there's Harrop down as well. Harrop was in 8th place. So Geerts leads, Carsmakers second, third is Rubini, fourth, Kai de Wolf with that move on Gifting. 6 is Everett, 7 Guyon, Teresac now 8, Langenfelder 9. Vial, obviously still waiting for him to come through, but looks like he may have done okay, but we'll wait and see. There was no way he was top 6 as he hit the first intermediate sector at the top of the hill. That inside line looks very precarious. They've just bladed over all the mud slop and there as well. So we'll keep an eye on. In fact, there's Vial in that top corner there, so he's just going away, and he is in 11th place. So do we have a new race leader here? Carsmakers, no, there's Jago Geerts right there. Here is Carsmakers. Oh, and him and Rubini almost get into each other. Kai Carsmakers, Hitachi KTM fueled by Milwaukee, and the Ship to Cycle Honda SR Moto Blues Rider going alongside him, and they are bar to bar. There's not much room for negotiating through there, but Rubini does go through at the end of the first lap into second place. Where is Vial? He is in 8th place. A good recovery after going down at turn 2. But Kai de Wolf alongside his fellow countryman, Carsmakers, who makes him go to the outside. Takes an inside line there, Kai de Wolf, but not very clean. Good drive on the exit though. Finds good drive uphill and does take over 3rd place from Carsmakers. Tom Vial making, I was going to say, taking good progress, but almost through the front door at the top of the hill. So Geerts leads the way. Rubini second. There's your race leader over on the left-hand side, already out of sight. Here's Tom Vial, just behind Joel Rizzi of the Riley Racing Yamaha squad, 9-12. Those two are in 8th and 9th place at the moment. Kai de Wolf, 3rd, trying to find his way past Stefan Rubini, who is absolutely relishing these conditions, the Frenchman. And Guadagnini down again. Bad to worse for the Red Bull Gas rider. He was in 14th. Tom Vial has cleared Joel Rizzi. Oh, we've got yellows, and it's Kai de Wolf out of 3rd. Picks himself up just ahead of Tom Guyon, and Guadagnini down again. The handlebar, look at the handlebars are bent. He's been down hard somewhere. Let's get to the end of this second lap, shall we, and take a deep breath, because there has been so much happening on this opening lap. 2 laps complete. Geerts leads by 5 seconds over Rubini. Rubini just out of shot. 3rd is Carsmakers now. leading these through here. Number 33 for the 517 of Isaac Gifting, his teammate. Fifth is Liam Everts for Diga Procross KTM. That's him in turn 2 now. Then a slight gap to Kai de Wolf. So from 3rd to 6th for the number 74. Here is Liam Everts. So Everts, first time we've seen him up at the sharp end in MX2. He was unlucky to crash in the first turn of the qualifying race at Matchley Basin, broken finger. Here is Guadagnini, those handlebars are bent, the clutch lever is down. This is going to be a long 25 minutes plus 2 for the Red Bull Gas. He's going to be hating life. He's 21st at the moment. He may pick up points though. Here's what happened. Guadagnini, he grabbed the Fox Holsehot for the first time this year, rushed it going into turn 2, look, got cross-rutted, back end came around, he took out Tom Vial with him, Geerts went through, but look at that, Beniston and Vial clashed. To say that Vial is up to 7th now is impressive. But the domino effect really in that turn 3, not helping some of the championship contenders. Guadagnini cutting a lonely figure as he climbs one of the many ascents here at Maggiora Park. But Tom Vial has found his way past Guyon. He's now up in the 7th place. Get the leaders over the line then here to 2:02.6. Rubini, the fastest rider on track by 2/10. He's only 4.7 seconds behind the Belgian. Cars Makers is in 3rd. Gifting is 4th. That's these two here. Both the Hitachi KTMs. Fueled by Milwaukee. Got to be careful not to trip each other up. Leans on his younger teammate who gives him a bit of elbow. Gifting does go through to 3rd though. Everts just behind them, look. The 3rd in this trio of riders, number 72. He's in 5th place. De Wolf 6, Vial 7, only 2 seconds behind the number 74 Dutchman. Guyon 8, Harup, Langenfelder round out the top 10. Jakob Terazak, he's in 11th place at the moment. Kevin Horgmo in 14th position. Here's Harup. He was 8th. And he's now picking himself back up. Lost a few positions. He's already back into 9th place. Going after Tom Guyon. How close was this? Well, Robin's racing. Well, Harup just a little bit wayward as he came into land there. Ahead of Langenfelder. Good steady ride this for Tom Guyon. Impressive in qualifying before he just made 1 or 2 little mistakes, but the VRT KTM Verities rider holding his own here in these conditions. Sticky conditions as well they are. Guadagnini keen to find his way past Harup. As Vial latches on to Kai de Wolf. 4 laps complete. Nothing in it between these two. Just over a second. The Red Bull KTM going after the Nistan Husqvarna factory rider. Slightly different line choice for the both riders there. But we know that dry line. Look how it swings back to the left. That's why De Wolf was getting good drive earlier on in the race, and he does so again now ahead of Vial. 5.5 seconds the gap between 1st and 2nd. Geerts continues to lead. Crucially, he's got clean goggles and a clear track ahead of him. The first 3 riders lapping on the same second, all within a tenth or two of each other in the 2:01 zone. The only other rider lapping 2:01's Vial. He's in 6th place at the moment. And Everts, De Wolf and Vial have all gone by Carlos Makers, who's made a mistake and just lost 4 places. Rabini, top of the hill there. Nothing in it between those two in terms of lap times. That gap, though, still hovering around about 5 seconds. Vial finds a cute line through that right-hander. De Wolf has found the podium on 2 occasions this year. 3rd overall in Lombardia at Mantova, 2nd overall in Trentino. Completely different conditions there. A hard sand track, and then obviously Trentino, just a hard rock face of a circuit. Today, the real first mud race of the campaign so far, although it has dried out significantly since this morning. Stefan Rabini has just set the fastest lap of the race, a 2:08.815. Gains 2 or 3 tenths on Geerts, the leader. 2:02s though for Gifting, who's 3rd. Everts 4th. De Wolf 5th. Vial 6th. Same lap times for those riders. Vial absolutely hounding De Wolf. A little bit further down the order, Valerio Latta, the MRT Racing KTM rider. He's up into 11th place. Adamo is right there in 12th. These two making very good progress further down the field, both on home soil as well. As Vial goes around the outside, can't quite get the drive up the hill. De Wolf hanging on to that 5th position. The polished, light-coloured surfaces, they are just starting to grip up in some places, slick in others where they may just go through a little bit of water, but actually conditions not too bad. It's just the actual lines. There aren't too many of them at the moment. And that'd be frustrating, Vial, no doubt. Just got to keep a cool, calm head. You can't risk making a mistake when conditions are like this. Okay, he's got some time ahead of him, behind him, sorry. But even still, you don't want to give up a good advantage. You may just have to capitalise on a mistake from the rider ahead of you. Thibaut Beneston, who also went down in turn 2, 3. He's now up in a 15th place. Just down his way past the 368 of Samuel Nielsen, the KTM Race Store MX2 rider. Another fastest lap of the race for Stefan Rabini. Harrop coming up short as he tried to find his way past Tom Guyon. These two still fighting over 8th place. Front number plate hanging off the front of that Big World, Big Van World MTX Kawasaki, but he does go through. Harrop now into 8th. And Simon Langenfelder also looking for a way past the French rider. He gets good drive heading up the hill, but he's going to have to go the long way round. Oh, he just drifted his way into the outside bank. See how wet it was there. So Harrop with a clear track ahead of him now fixes his sights on Cosmakers. Watch this here. Gets on the gas around the outside. Mikkel Harrop had to go for broke. Does get past the Frenchman and moves into that 8th place. Simon Langenfelder now homing in on the 27th. Kai de Wolf all over the back of Liam Everts now. Guadagnini has decided to call it a day. Disappointment for the Red Bull Gas rider at his home Grand Prix. Liam Everts, a perfect start. He's there in 4th position at the moment. No doubt About to come under pressure, though, from Kai de Wolf in 5th and Tom Vial in 6th. Point lead at the top of the championship. Jago Geerts enjoys at the moment over Tom Vial as the Belgian leads away, and Vial in 6th place. De Wolf takes over 3rd at the moment because obviously he was tied on points with Langenfelder and Harop. He's ahead of both of those riders out on track. Smooth, efficient riding style for the 72 of Everts. Harop closing in on cars makers now. Bringing Guyon with him. The Frenchman not letting the Dane out of his sights, is he? Different line choice. The ground very, very hard. Riders will be feeling that through the handlebars. Bit of a pre-jump, but coming up short there for the number 11. Meanwhile, Vial has found his way past the 74. So Vial now up into 5th place. No, he's not. Sorry. There's Everts hanging on there to that 4th place. And Vial just losing ground here. So maybe 1 or 2 little errors for Vial. Let's have a look. Fastest sector 1. Loses a little bit in sector 2, not too much. Maybe the pace of the other 2 guys is just a little bit better. Anyway, he's going to have to regroup in the next just over 13.5 minutes plus 2 laps. Laps complete. Isaac Gifting sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:59.5, the only rider to go below 2 minutes this time around, or during the race. And he's just ahead of these guys, heading up the hill now. Everts knows that he can just hold a nice tight line, stay clean. It's going to be very difficult for the riders behind him to find a way through. And you see a mistake there from De Wolf, allowing Vial to close right back in again. So as we look at this battle here, just under 13 minutes to go. Liam Everts doing a good job on that Diga Procross KTM of keeping De Wolf and Vial at bay. We are going to go down a pit lane with Lisa in a moment and talk to the team boss, Justin Amian. Of course, same team that Thomas Kjær Olsen rides for. He had that crash a couple of weeks ago in Latvia. There are TKO Stay Strong stickers on the fronts of most of the motorcycles here this weekend. But Everts looking very, very good at the moment. Just 12 minutes to go. And we are going down to Lisa in pit lane.
Justin, we see Liam inside the top 5. He's 4th at the moment. He had a good start. He's staying out of trouble. He's looking good out there.
Yeah, he surprised us a lot. The condition suits him really well. So he did a brilliant job. He's right now in a mentally good position that he keep fighting for a top 5 result. We are really proud and happy and looking forward until the next 11 minutes.
It's the first mudder of the year. Do you think these are conditions that he actually quite likes?
Yeah, he's a rider. He has the potential for all conditions to ride good, but important is also the start, the self-confidence in the head. And this is definitely a track what suits him, and I expect that he can do that also at almost everywhere.
Thanks, Justin. Good luck to the team.
Meanwhile, Simon Langenfelder up to 9th place. He is eased past Tom Guyon. I won't say eased past, it's taken him a while to find his way past the Frenchman. And he's all over the back of Harp as well. Here's Jago Geerts. Slight miscue there. Back end just got out of the rut. And he's only 4 seconds clear of Rubini. That's not bad. He's just maybe just riding within his limits here. And the thing is, when you are up front, you don't need to do any more, especially in these conditions here. When it's fast and wide open like it was yesterday, everybody is right on the ragged edge. But here, with conditions where it's easy to make a mistake, just stay there. Do all you need to do. And if that's what he's doing here, then it's effective. Although he can't afford to switch off in the next 10 minutes because 3.7 now the gap between him and Rubini, who is going after his own bit of history here. Wanted to win a race in MX2, of course, Rubini. Ten laps complete. Jago Geerts over the Monster Energy finish line. De Wolf and Vial still fighting over 5th place. Vial has got himself right back into contention. See how difficult it is and how frustrating. They had worked on the part of that racetrack there prior to the race, but they also had to work on other parts of the circuit as well. So you can only move this dirt, this mud around so much before you get a good line and a sloppy line around the outside. Right, Harrop right back onto the rear wheel of 33, Cars Makers. Cars Makers having a stunning ride as well. Oh, and he makes a mistake. Commentators curse. Right around the outside he goes, and Harrop at the inside, and he may get caught napping here by Langenfelder, gives him the elbow. 10 out of 10 though for Cars Makers, getting stuck in, and he finds his way back. Anything you can do, I can do better. Drag race to the top of the hill. Who will it be? Langenfelder just finds his way past, so losing 2 positions in a couple of corners. Look how much time. Oh, and he just runs wide, and Guillaume goes through as well. I was going to say, look how much time Harrop made in all of that. Vial is out of tear-offs. He's constantly wiping his goggles. That is not good for another 8 minutes plus 2. Being sat behind the rear wheel of Kaido. I wonder if Vial will take a punt, come down the hill into pit lane and get fresh goggles. Blue flags being waved all over the place. (9:12) of Ritzy just trying to stay out of the way there, but look at the gap coming down between Jago Geerts and then Rubini there. He's got traffic ahead of him and he gets held up. A costly error for the Frenchman. Kaido Wolf just sets the fastest lap of the race, meanwhile. 1:59.1, 7/10 quicker than the guys chasing down. Rubini parked behind traffic. The bank marker coming to have a go. And Rubini, look, he's involved. Peter Pollock is involved in his race with 9:12. Joel Rizzi. Finally, he gets clear track, but look at the damage it has caused. The gap was 3.7 seconds at the start of the lap. Pollock looking to go round Rizzi. These two outside of the points at the moment. But Rubini now, 4.3 seconds. Oh, it's 2.4 seconds at the start of the lap, wasn't it? That was an intermediate sector, so cost him dearly. Look at that, up on the pegs. Liam Everts, very Everts-esque through that bottom turn. But he is being caught, hand over fist now from Kaido Wolf. A little bit offline as he came into land. Gifting his third, he's about 5 seconds further up the track. De Wolf biding his time. Six minutes to go. There's Vial at the top of the hill. No tear-offs. left on the goggles of the Frenchman. Oh, and a mistake there from Everts, and that was all it was decided. Kai de Wolf goes through and moves into 4th place. "12 laps complete then. Can he hang on though for 5th place, Liam Everts?" Vial is only 2.7 seconds behind the number 72. There he is, just coming into view now. Nicely done, isn't it? Up on the pegs. Prior to this weekend, Liam Everts, 20th in the championship, sat out the first 4 rounds because of that hand injury. Had a 14th and a 13th, just the one top 10 finish. That was 9th in race 1 2 weeks ago in Latvia. Here he is in 5th place, trying to maintain focus. Would like to get a top 5 position if he can. Getting some distance over the O'Mara jump there in the corner. So Geerts leading the way. Here he is, the Monster Energy Yamaha. It's been immaculate so far. Looks immaculate as well. Barely a spot of mud on the front plate of the number 93 red plate holder. Been there right from the very first lap, has led all 12 laps so far. He's on lap 13. Lucky there though. So under 4 minutes remain. Geerts staying nice and clean. Tipped over during the qualifying race with a couple of laps to go yesterday. Maintained that 2nd place finish. But this is where all the drama was at the start of the race. In that corner. Watch this here. Whoa! Haven't seen one of those in a while. Tell you what, all due credit to the flagman there. He was quick to respond. Wonder if it was the same flagman as took care of the incident in Italy at Mantova when Vial went down, because he was also very quick, bringing out the waved yellows. Meanwhile, as Pollock, just ahead of Kai de Wolf, maintains his position just outside the top 20. Not sure if he knows there are 3 riders in their own battle for 4th, 5th and 6th position, homing in on him. You would think he would by now though, wouldn't you? Knows who the 74 is. He's already seen Geerts and Rubini go by. But he's just holding his line there and not allowing these 2 guys behind him. Oh, and de Wolf off. I was going to say, not allowing those 2 to get on with the race, and then de Wolf just chucks it out the side of the off the side of the track. So de Wolf out of 4th. Pollock. Right, take a look at this. Out the side door here for de Wolf. Watch. Boom. All the hard work done. Clear track ahead of him. I wonder how much of that was to do with trying a different line because of the back marker issues. Might have had nothing to do with it, but maybe we needed to see another angle from the back if possible. But Pollock just getting on with his own race, the JM Honda rider. So Geerts, Rubini, Gifting and Everts again in 4th position. Vial 5th. We wait for de Wolf. There's de Wolf in the background, so he's going to drop to 6th then. Hara all over the back of de Wolf though, in 7th place. Just over half a second behind him. As Vial Gets good drive around the outside. Can the factory KTM out-drag the Diga Procross privateer machine? No, it can't at the top of the hill. Sun still bearing down on the racetrack. Drying the circuit out with every single lap. Pace is just being picked up here and there, but you push too hard, you will risk a mistake, as Kai de Wolf just found out. In the loop opposite to where we are, Harp is all over the back of de Wolf, I think. That hard light edge, that's chalk. Very, very slippery, chalk, limestone type ground. See the riders hit that step on the way up. Here's your race leader. So 2 to go. Geerts leads the way. Evans under pressure from Vial, takes a look over, sees the former world champion right there next to him. And of course, Vial, no goggles, offline here, goes around the outside, just a lot of deep slop and mud that he has to deal with. Comes up short on the finish line jump. Can he hang on? Takes a breather as he reaches the end of the start straight into that first corner. De Wolf has put about a second between himself and Harp as they work their way back this way. So again, Pollock there, the back marker, but the two riders behind him, 74 and 11. Oh, and a mistake there from Harp. Saves it. But it's cost him time, and Langenfelder should be easy pickings for the German. And it is, top of the hill, but Harp tries to run it down the inside. A costly mistake for Harp. Langenfelder now 7. (253) Jan Panzer, the rider that crashed out in front of Jago Geerts. Just in the points at the moment. 20th place. The rider ahead of him, the 180, Leo Ambjornsen. Oh. De Wolf has been caught by Langenfelder, the Red Bull Gas rider in red, looking to find his way around the outside. And Hart right there as well. And De Wolf under pressure here. We are just a few, well, we're into the final lap, aren't we? Geerts and Rubini now 8 seconds apart. Gifting is 3rd, Everts 4th, and without goggles, Vial, there is nothing he can do about Everts. Meanwhile, a frantic battle about to unfold here. Again, Peter Pollock has no idea that the leading group are around him, lapping him. Blue flags waving all over the place. Somebody will be having words with him, I'm sure. Because he's on the race line, and De Wolf is desperate to find a way through. Harp tries to go around the outside of Langenfelder. Langenfelder still hanging in there, though. Meanwhile, half a lap to go for Geerts. Controlled the race. Tense, no doubt, in the beginning of the race when conditions were at their worst. But he didn't panic. Kept a cool head. And that cool head may just pay dividends here. 25 points about to be grabbed by the Monster and his Yamaha rider. Tell you who'll be more impressed, the mechanic. He probably won't even need to jet wash it between races. Still clean. That's why he's smiling. Anyway, final turn. And it is a win for the 7th time this year for Jago Geerts. 25 points in the books for him. Rubini, impressive in second. The first time the Frenchman has finished in the top 3 in MX2. Third gifting. We wait for him to come through. Still wiping his goggles, though. Tom Vial has got back onto the rear wheel of Everts, but it's going to be 4th for Everts and 5th for Vial. Langenfelder, Harrop and Guillaume have all found their way past Kai de Wolf, who drops to 9th. And I wonder if that is a mistake as a result of trying to find his way past the back marker, Peter Pollock. Vial, absolutely dejected. Here is Jago Geerts, our winner, with Lisa.
Jago Geerts, a perfectly timed race. You were well controlled. You managed to stay out of trouble when many others didn't, to bring home your 7th race win.
Yeah, I had a really good start. I was in 2nd or 3rd place. And then second corner I went to the lead, and yeah, the track was just really technical, a lot of lines, and it was difficult to ride, but I managed to bring home the win, so I'm really happy with that, and hopefully I can do the same in the second heat.
Good luck for the second race.
Jago Geerts then, in his 80th Grand Prix start in MX2, kicks off in fine style with a win in race 1 around what was a technical Maggiore Park racetrack here in Italy. He got to the front as early as got to the front as early as turn 3 after Carnage and shoot around him, and he kept a clean pair of wheels as well. Give you the official confirmation as we have it at the moment then. Jago Geerts wins it, 9 seconds clear of Stefan Rubini. Isaac Gifting 3rd for him, fantastic for the Hitachi KTM fueled by Milwaukee. Liam Everts hangs on for 4th, Tom Vial 5th, Langenfelder, Harp, Guillaume all find their way past Kai de Wolf, who lost about 8-9 seconds on the final lap. Andrea Adamo 10, Cars Makers 11, Horgmo, Teresac, Latta and Beniston. Kevin Brumman got to 16th, Samuel Nilsson, Håkan Fredriksson, Jan Panzer and Leopold Ambjornsen. So far, so good with the weather then. No need for umbrellas just yet. Take a look at the highlights from that first MX2 race. It all happened really in the first couple of laps, didn't it? MX2 race 1 here, 7th round of the FIM Motocross World Championship in Italy at Maggiore. Mattia Guadagnini around the outside for the first Fox Holsehot of the season for him. Vial was into 2nd, Cars Makers was 3rd, but he had to give way to the number 93 of Jago Geerts. Then this happened. Guadagnini went down, took Vial and Beniston and Adamo with him and a few others. And it was Harrop who was in 8th place. He also fell on the opening lap. Geerts led the way from Cars Makers, but then before the end of the lap, Rubini charged his way through on the ship-to-cycle Honda SR Moto Blues machine. And that was that de Wolf going down for the first time from 3rd place? I think it was, yeah. He picked himself up. Guillaume was alongside him, and then waved yellows as well for Guadagnini, the 2nd time, or maybe even the 3rd time the Italian fell. He picked himself up with damaged bars and all kinds of stuff going on. He eventually pulled out of the race as Harrop started to gain. He made that move on the 27th of Guillaume to move into 8th and then 7th with a move on Cars Makers. Langenfelder thought he'd found a way through, but guess what? The kid wasn't taking any prisoners, muscled his way back through, and then just lost out at the top of the hill as the German went by. And then he made that mistake to allow Guillaume and Adamo almost goes through, but Adamo did pass him in the end. Liam Everts succumbed to the pressure from Kai de Wolf. But a lap or two later, de Wolf out the side door. That allowed Everts back into 4th, Guillaume and Vial into 5th. A bobble or more for the 11 of Harrop as he chased a top 5 place, but had his work cut out. He lost a position in that as well. That was Horgmo falling down to 12th. But it was a win for Jago Geerts. Rubini was second, gifting Evertson Vial your top 5. Win number 7 for Jago Geerts. Someone can get me a drink. Fluffing up nicely on the horizon, isn't it? Could be interesting for race 2. Take a look at the Fox Holsehot right at the start of the race. By about a week, Mattia Guadagnini, oh yeah, the smile says it all. Mattia Guadagnini, Red Bull Gas Factory Racing, and you already out of his race gear, pulled out of the race, obviously 3 or 4 crashes after grabbing that Fox Holsehot, the first of the year for him, and yeah, a completely 180 for what happened here last year for the likeable Italian. See the prep work going on down on the start straight, in front of the gate, down the straight, where obviously MX2 riders have been hammering around this Maggiora Park racetrack. Take a look at some of the best moments, shall we, as they up there enjoy a little bit of sun. Best moments from MX2 Race 1. Join us in, 3 minutes time when we return for MXGP Race 1. See you then.
Ultimi martedì il movimento terra per ripristinare i primi metri subito dopo il cancello. Gianluca Neghi, scusa ti disturbo, gara di casa, la tua sì che è una gara in casa, quanti chilometri, a quanti chilometri abiti da qui a Maggiora?
Da questa parte è un tiro di schioppo. Ho fatto penso una mezz'ora di macchina per venire qua.
Quindi un'emozione in più naturalmente, poi già emozionante debuttare nel mondiale motocross, lo ancora di più se lo si fa a Maggiora nella gara di casa.
Sì, è molto bello poter condividere questa cosa con le persone vicine, quindi tutta la mia famiglia, i miei amici, è bello, è una